Hi, Chris. Oh, not hearing you. Let's see.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
There you go. I can hear you now.
Okay, we're set.
Why aren't your picture coming up? You don't care if you
No.
picture. Might screw you up, I don't know.
Yep, I stopped, hit that.
I'm good. I got Doreen Corbett in here. That's
There's
all.
John.
Now I got Silly Lee.
Silly Lane, yeah. Hi, everybody. We're a
Good
big
night, Lane.
quiet bunch today.
I know. How's everybody
Goodbye.
doing?
Doing well, Steve.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Now we didn't get a lot of snow in Remsen. Anybody else get any snow?
Not much.
Field did.
Just a dusting.
Yeah.
Just a dusting in Sequoia too.
Yeah.
Cold though.
Yeah, it's cold.
Elaine, are you going to Florida soon?
I got back on Sunday. I went for just a week,
Oh,
and I'm gonna go in January again.
nice. How's
Cold
things
this
down-
week right now, isn't it?
Pardon?
It got cold this week, I think, down there.
Oh, my granddaughter's there. She went to the beach yesterday. So,
Yeah, I think Orlando was like 51 this morning.
oh, really? Well, one of the mornings I was down there was 39.
Wow.
Got up to 70 in the afternoon. Of course, I get up at 5 o'clock, but still in all, 39 is a lot of.
Yeah.
a low
Now
day.
that's unusual for December though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's usually end of December, first couple weeks in January is kind of chilly.
Yeah.
But, they have their earmuffs and all their stuff down there. And I put a sweatshirt on and I'm fine.
Sure.
And they look at you like there's something wrong with you, right?
Yeah, that's right. But it's a pain because I got a COVID test last Thursday. I got to go get another one tomorrow. And before
Yeah.
you go, when you come back. But that's all right. It was negative, so that'll work.
That's all that counts.
Yep.
It keeps you out of trouble.
Oh, I don't get into trouble, John.
Elaine, I can't remember. Did you drive or fly?
I flew.
Did you fly?
Yeah.
How the flights? Were a lot of people on the flights or no?
More than when I went in October, but not a lot. There was space between everybody. Everybody was separated by at least a seat or an aisle.
I
Feel
feel
sorry
like,
for that industry.
don't you feel like we should be seeing more people on the screen than we can see right now? We're missing a few people, aren't we?
Yeah, we're missing.
I'm here.
There's Doreen,
We're missing Charlene
Russ,
and Russ.
and Gary Nelson,
Or, yep.
Well, Dr. Gary.
Dr. Parcelli.
He did let us know he might not be available this evening.
Oh, okay.
We're aware of that. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6.
Mr. Nelson was just here. He just dropped out, so I don't know what happened. Hopefully,
Russ. We're missing Russ.
I don't see Russ.
There, maybe that's him. Ding
I
dong.
like the doorbell effect. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Nope.
John.
There's Russ.
Yep.
Oh, there's Russ coming on now.
How about Yvonne? Is Yvonne making it? No.
comes Gary.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, Craig Nelson, Gary Nelson. Yep, that makes sense.
There's Gary.
Hi, Gary. How are you? You're muted. I don't know if you know that. So you're talking to yourself.
My nephew got a hold of my computer and has made it his own, apparently.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, Dr. Kilburn, do you want to wait a couple more minutes for some people, or do you want to get started? How would you like to operate here?
I think we should get started in the purposes of time because Deb Kimball can continue to let people into the meeting. So I think without further ado, we should.
Perfect. All right, we'll call this meeting in order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and to
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, super. Welcome, everybody, to our Zoom meeting, our cooperative board meeting for December 9th, 2020. And now we're going to go into recognition. Dr. Kilburn, do you want to lead us through?
Yeah, so if we move past Roman numeral number 3, recognition, we're going to go to the recognition of visitors. And we're going to give recognition to one of our own employees, Jean Palmer, who is with us. And if you look in Scott Morris's window in the back, you will see Jean Palmer. Hi, Jean. Jean Palmer is the recipient of the New York State School Public Relations Association 2020 Communicator of the Year Award. Now, this award is meant to recognize a school communications professional who demonstrate the commitment to strengthening relationships between public schools and students, families, and the communities that they serve. The award honors those who recognize that communication and public relations are a critical component of school leadership. This is a significant award, and typically it is presented at the New York State School Boards Association in front of board members at their board's award luncheon. So I just felt that was so important to bring Jean before you and to recognize Jean's efforts, as this is an award that's presented for board members. So without further ado, Mr. Scott Morris, I think you have something for Jean. And we have here a plaque that was sent forward by the New York State School Boards Association, recognizing Jean Palmer as the New York State School Communicator of the Year Award. Congratulations, Jean Palmer. Woo-hoo! Jean, is there anything you might like to say? I should let you know that you're muted. So if you do want to say something, Scott actually has to unmute you.
Okay. Hi, thank you, everyone. This is such an honor. I want to thank our cooperative board for your support of our program, our BOCES administration, and our component districts. And I don't work alone, so I have an incredible team behind me, and I share this award with them as well. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jean, and congratulations on you, everyone in that division. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Thanks, Scott.
See you tomorrow.
All right, see you tomorrow.
Outstanding. Way to go. Sorry about that. I tried to play my crowd cheering. Could you hear it, Dr. Kilburn?
I think I could. I didn't know what I was hearing, but now that you've explained that, I understand it's crowd cheering.
Yeah, I downloaded crowd cheering so we could have a crowd cheering for her.
Oh,
But I'm not great with IT, so you're trying to get used to all this technology, so that way you can take advantage of it.
I know.
All right, so now we move on to section item number 5, communications from the floor. We'll keep with you, Dr. Kilburn.
Well, actually, that would be if anyone here had some communications from the floor, but I'm not aware of any that were coming in. So I think we could move on.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Going on about the correspondence. Any correspondence? No correspondence. All right, we're moving along rapid pace here. We're going to go right to the district superintendent's reports.
All right, we're going to start out with a COVID-19 update, and I'm going to talk about, kind of 3 points. Really what the testing program is, kind of what our status is, and some things about the region that I want to share with you. So regarding our status, currently I think we had 10 positive cases last week, and we have well over 70 people currently in a quarantine. And, that certainly you would think raise eyebrows, but I believe everyone here is becoming aware that Oneida County, I last checked the dashboard, I think yesterday, was at 7.9%. In terms of infection rate on a rolling number of days, which, clearly concerns everybody about making sure that we're all doing our due diligence. At BOCES, we're in the unique position of meeting the needs of all of our districts, some of which have chosen to go fully remote. Others are staying available in person, and we are doing our part to be there for everyone in the best way that we can. And to that end, I talked with Chris Hill today just to see if he would be willing to kind of share with us what does this mean? So for example, are we doing in-person CTE and in-person bridges? Are we remote in other places? And if so, why? So I just asked Chris to step in and kind of share with us about our out-of-district placement students, where we're hosted in other districts, and the programs that we're providing here. And you might want to unmute.
Always forget to unmute. So I guess the best way to do this is to kind of walk through the BOCES. So, you know, if you're walking up the hallway through BOCES and you start with the CTE and PTech programs, so we are still providing in-person instruction for districts that are transporting or for families that are transporting. Our teachers have heroically taken on this challenge, you know, because it can vary, their classes can vary from day to day based on transportation, but we're providing in-person instruction for those that can be there and simultaneously providing virtual instruction for those who are home. So it's a real challenge for those teachers with kids in both environments, but we've been able to maintain that kind of instruction up until this point in CT and PTech. When we move up the hallway a little bit further to bridges, we are 100% in person. We have been 100% in person for the whole school year. The component districts are sending to our bridges center-based programs, even if they are on shutdown. So if a district is on full remote instruction, they are still sending and busing to those programs. So we're still fully in person right now, you know, maintaining safety protocols the best we can, staying masked, but we're able to maintain that up till now. Into up the hallway into MSA, Middle Settlement Academy, our alternative education program runs a hybrid program. So those kids are in person 2 days a week and remote 3 days a week. As you remember, that's the smallest section of the building. So we go with a hybrid there to provide more space. Right now, a lot of the districts that are remote are asking us to teach MSA remotely as well. So there's not much congestion up there. In our out of district sites, so if you, we have out of district special education classrooms in New Hartford, Westmoreland, Sequoia Valley, and Waterville. 3 of those districts, Waterville is still open, so our classrooms there are still open aside from one classroom. We have one classroom in Waterville that we've closed due to an exposure. The other 3, New Hartford, Sequoia Valley, and Westmoreland, are currently all remote because their host districts are remote. So if the host district is remote, we go remote. So our staff is doing an incredible job right now, balancing the needs of all the component districts, all the students. You know, they are concerned, you know, but they're fighting through it. We're meeting with them, talking regularly. But that's where we are as a BOCES right now.
So I'm going to hook on from that into the next piece of information I want to share with you, which is extremely good news. So last meeting, I had talked with you about some of the challenges facing our regional schools in terms of getting free COVID tests in hand, so that if we become a micro cluster, we can meet the required thresholds in order to remain open. And I have to tell you, please, hats off to your school safety department at BOCES. They have just been pulling out all of the stops, doing tremendous work. And they were able to find a partner in Upstate Family Health Center who has agreed to let us use their lab license, which is the access point you need to order tests. So they're allowing us to kind of ride underneath them to order tests. And to use their data system to enter in all the required data for every single student who is tested and every single adult who is tested. And they provided us the training we need. So now our BOCES has 20,000 tests that can be used across the entire region for our schools. Each school who wanted to participate had to send in the number that they needed to meet their 20% threshold. We're meeting and exceeding that number. And they came and trained our BOCES staff. So our BOCES staff are now turnkey trainers. So they can work with every single district in the region who is participating and offer the training that those districts need to administer the tests and also to enter all the data and help them with the coordination of the data and all of the logistical planning they need in place to conduct these tests. So that is absolutely huge. I'm just so proud of our safety department. That's a big benefit to our districts too, because as you recall, the testing programs would have cost, $75 to $100 per head for testing. So that's fantastic. The other thing we're looking at in our BOCES, and this is a recent conversation, and we're hoping it can come to fruition, is to possibly consider doing like voluntary testing for employees. Different schools have done it using different lab organizations and health insurance. We have a good relationship with Upstate Family Health Center, so that possibility might be there to address the anxieties that Mr. Hill just brought up. We are so appreciative of our faculty coming in and our staff members to be there for our children in person, because we recognize at BOCES that so many of our children truly, really need in-person learning. But we also understand that there's anxiety with that. I think we can all relate to it. So if we're able to open something like that up for volunteer employee testing, that will be fantastic. So that's on our horizon in terms of planning to help provide some measure of assurance, and also to help assist the region with understanding who is or isn't infected with COVID. We continue to try to decrease population density. And I made a joke, I think at the last meeting, that I don't think I've seen Chris Hill in person, and I can't even tell you how long. And that remains the case. Like, we're actively really trying to make sure across the organization that we are, if one person's in, the other's out. If one's working from home, the other's in the office, that two ships don't pass. And we're splitting schedules across the organization where we can, and encouraging as many people as possible that are able to work from home, and then setting up systems to make sure that we're helping each other out. So like a good morning email, so we know that everyone's still healthy and well at home and starting their work day and off and running. So that's the state of COVID within our BOCES, and that is the state of COVID within our region. And it's certainly also the testing information. So I did share, because we have Oneida County peers in the Madison BOCES. So I did make sure to call Scott Budelman right away at Madison when we were able to secure the arrangements with Upstate for the testing program. We are so thankful to Upstate as a partner. And he has just met with them, I think today or yesterday, to see if they can deploy something similar for schools out in that region. So hopefully that will be the gift that keeps on giving. And we're happy about that in the midst of a very unhappy time. And any questions about that before we move on to thought exchange?
Just to reiterate, the tests are free to us. The 20,000 are free. And so when the information from our students gets populated with that test, it's probably an obvious answer, but we are protecting that information.
Yes, but it's a different standard of protection.
Okay.
Health in a pandemic than it is through Department of Education. So Department of Education parameters, we follow Ed Law 2D.
We lost
right?
you. We lost you for a moment on your explanation.
Okay. No, and it's okay. I shut my camera off intentionally. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to shut the camera off just to make sure you're heard because of broadband. So yes, we are ensuring the privacy of the children, but we have to understand that we're working in a different data management system, not the same records keeping systems that schools use. This is the Department of Health system called the eClares data system. And the state of the public emergency and the state of pandemic allows the Department of Health to access student information with a greater latitude and frequency and urgency than might typically be allowed under normal circumstances. So we do want to make it clear that when we are talking about the data input associated with this, that it is our school employees who are trained to enter into the New York State Department of Health's eClares system regarding the specifics on student demographics. Now, other in-house data that schools typically carry on children and protect according to Education Law 2D is also tracked and shared with the school district by itself. for its own records on the students who are or are not positive and the number of students tested, because that has to be reported by schools to the New York State Department of Health dashboard. But so even though the Department of Health is getting the information, they're getting it in two different ways. One is direct data entry into eClares, and the other one is school data entry through school parameters onto their COVID dashboard. Great question.
Thank you. And that's wonderful news. Wonderful news.
Okay, so I'm going to.
Dr. Kilburn?
Yes, yes.
I'm sorry, where would the test be administered and by who?
All right, so each school is going to have to come up with their own local test administration plan. So we have the 20,000 tests and we're going to be deploying them. Each district gets the amount they asked for deployed to them. They have to figure out where they're going to store them. They're not very big though. I mean, like a shoebox probably holds like 50 tests, right? They'll figure out where to store them. And then they have to figure out the logistics and how they're going to administer the test. For example, what employees will they have trained? We'll train them. How many tests will they administer each day? Will they choose to allow kids to screen in like normal because people are feeling well and asymptomatic clearly when they come in and screen into our buildings? Some schools might choose to do something where the kids are in classes like normal and the school nurse is calling them down across a 2-week period to test, just like you would for a hearing test. Other schools might say, nope, we're going to have a full day of testing and we're going to do it as drive-through testing and set it up that way. So it's really going to depend on each school's circumstances, the amount of staff they have, the size of their schools, number of children, all of those unique parameters for each district. Our job would be to support them with understanding the logistics required and kind of walking them through that to make sure that they're all ready to go.
It's definitely an icebreaker, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm going to move into thought exchange. So I'm going to turn things over to Ann Turner, and Ann, I'll share my screen and pull that up. Just let me know when.
Okay, you can start that at any point, Dr. Kilburn.
Okay.
All right, so good evening, everyone. And first of all, I want to, as one of our past friends would say, I'm going to begin in gratitude. So thank you all for your participation in Thought Exchange. We appreciate it very much. We have very good participation on your part. So again, thank you. We do have some results right now. We have results of the question that we asked the board members, and we have results from the question that we asked area superintendents. So we will be passing that on to you. I will be sending it to you electronically, but also I will be sending it to you via regular mail so that you have the opportunity to look at it both ways. There are several different views of the information, but we're going to be sending you a couple of the views that we believe are the most understandable. So I believe that Dr. Kilburn has these are actually PowerPoints that were generated by the system, but as you can see, one of the things you will be receiving is this word cloud. And as you can see by looking at it, the most popular mention was districts, which of course makes sense to us, along with components and support and programming and help and COVID, of course. So that's one of the pieces of information you will have the opportunity to look at. And also, if you keep going down, Dr. Kilburn.
Key thoughts.
There we are. There's a bar graph that identifies the top themes that were discussed by the board. And as you go down further, it shows you the statements that were made, the thoughts that were made, and the starred responses to those. And then you have this piece, which kind of highlights the differences. between side A and side B. So that's interesting reading too. And that's basically the PowerPoint that you will be receiving, and you will receive one for the question to the superintendents and one for the question that you all entertained. I think it's important to note that these questions are still open for comment. If you'd like to continue commenting, we've had requests to leave them open, so they are. And prior to your January board meeting, we will be sending you an update. Since they will be open, we have the potential to have more information added. So we will send you an update prior to your January board meeting, where we will have a discussion regarding some of this information.
Anne was sharing with us today in our senior council meeting that it was kind of interesting that, so you had just seen your word scramble or Wordle, I don't know, word cloud.
Yeah.
And if you look here, this is the superintendent's one, and look, they're the same thing, districts, you know, it's really helping the districts. The districts need help right now. I think we all understand that, but you'll see some reinforcements of kind of where I think as a board, you've already been thinking a lot about. So there's something interesting there. So we anticipate that, you know, you'll have the time to digest that via email and also hard copy, so that we can open up some discussion for that in our January meeting. You know, if we're virtual, we're very easy. We can very easily do that right here in a Zoom, and we can even break out into smaller groups. If we're not virtual, clearly we can do that right within our own meeting structure in the Oneida room. So please look forward to that information. And that is all I have for my district superintendent's report.
Okay, can you hear me now? Oh, you can, good, okay, good. All right, so now we're gonna move on to the approval of the consent agenda. Items B, C, and D, the financial report, the personnel report, and the action items. Can we get a motion to approve that agenda, consent agenda? Oh,
I'll move.
Excuse me, Mr. Boucher.
Skip day.
Approve the minutes first, please.
Whoa, wait a minute. I wrote notes all around. I was taking copious notes about free COVID and social distancing and all these other good things. And I wrote right over the top of it. I apologize. All right, let's back up. Sorry about that.
This is 2 months in a row, Steve. Three times and you're out.
Off with his head.
Okay.
Where's Russ? He's going to have to take over. So, all right. So we need approval for the minutes for the regular meeting from November 18th, 2020. Can I get a motion?
Sure, me. I'll move.
Moved by Mike Moore, seconded by Doreen. Oh, Gary Nelson, second. Okay, second by Gary Nelson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? All right, motion carries. All right, we got it. There, I wrote right over that. Now we need an approval for consent agenda for B, C, and D, financial report, personnel report, and action items. Can we get a motion?
So moved.
Don't move.
Moved by Mrs. Fellow, second by, who's second here?
Tony.
Mr. Nicotera, second. Okay, very good. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion carries. We're on to section number 8, board topics and discussion items. Do we have any to proceed with, Dr. Kilburn?
No.
Okay, no old business. So with that, we're going to move into executive session. We have to do executive session.
I will say that Deb Kimball, we need you to stay out. So when we come back out, yep. All right. Thank you.
We're going into for the purpose of discussing employment history of a particular person.
Move.
So move.
Move second by Mr. Stewart. Okay, and all in favor say aye.
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 All right. Elaine's leaving.
No, I'm not leaving.
Come on, Elaine.
No. I'm
No,
getting a pencil.
Going to the breakout room.
Okay, we got to join the breakout room.
John, you see the button to join the room? There you go. All right, Deb, I guess it's you and I got to hang out for a bit, huh? Everybody else have a good night.
You think that's it?
I think so.
That's it.
Good night.
Works for me. Good night.
Deb, I'm just going to mute my camera and mic.
Okay.
Okay, we all back?
Yep.
Awesome, awesome. Welcome back, everyone. So we have some more business to take care of while we're here. We have to, let me read my little list here. We need a motion to be it resolved that the Board of Education and the Oneida-Herkimer-Madison BOCES hereby approves the agreement between BOCES and Mary Parker. Be it further resolved that the district superintendent is hereby authorized to execute the agreement on behalf of BOCES. Can we get a motion to approve that?
So moved.
I think you have to wait a second. Just want to make sure you have a quorum.
Oh.
Make sure you have enough. Sorry about that, Steve, but we don't have everyone. Do we have everyone back and do we have a quorum? I think we do. Deb?
I think we do. There's John, Gary.
Yeah, everyone's
Tony.
back. We got.
Oh, thank God. Okay, good. Sorry.
Charlene was still trying to get in, Dr. Kilburn.
Ah, there we go. Charlene, I'm glad to see you're back. Thank you, Tony. Steve, do you want to read the motion again so all can hear it?
Sure, I'll read the motion. It's a resolution. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Oneida-Herkimer-Madison BOCES hereby approves the agreement between BOCES and Mary Parker. Be it further resolved that the district superintendent is hereby authorized to execute the agreement on behalf of the BOCES. So can we get a motion to approve that?
Also moved.
Moved by Mr. Moore.
I'll second.
Second by, was it Charlene?
Sure.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you, Charlene. And so.
I just wanted you to know that I was still here.
Yeah. Perfect. So is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, very, very good. Okay, Dr. Kilburn, and so do we have any other business or do we need a motion to adjourn?
We need a motion to adjourn.
May I get a motion to adjourn, ladies and gentlemen?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Anderson,
Second.
second by Mr. Nelson, and motion passes, and have a great night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice holiday, everyone.
Everybody be well.